Tesla's a sell, sell, sell. You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing.
Previously, Tesla received approval for a $465 million loan from the Department of Energy, established a partnership with Toyota to provide powertrains for their upcoming electric RAV4, and most importantly, purchased a NUMMI auto manufacturing plant from Toyota and Liquidation Motors. And now, to get the funds needed to fully build out the Fremont factory, Tesla turns to Wall Street via an initial public offering. And prior to the IPO, Elon Musk and several members of the Tesla team did a roadshow to meet potential investors.
Would meet with potential investors. Tesla is a company that tends to inspire either love or hate. People are rarely indifferent. Like, if you say well, how do you feel about Colgate? I'm like, it's okay. But with Tesla, it's like either it's like you guys suck or you're great, or like yay. So it's like tends to be very much either love it or hate it. And so in the IPO roadshow, we'd sometimes meet with investors who would tell us just how stupid we were and that this was a waste of money and how dare we even take their time. I'm like, okay, thank you. And they would meet with some that are like, yeah, you guys, this is great. We're all in.
June 29th was the day of the IPO.
Elon, a huge day for Tesla, the company going public. Why now?
Well, a number of reasons. We actually don't need the IPO proceeds for the Model S engineering production. A lot of people think we do, but that's actually taken care of with the DOE loan and with pre-existing investment.
This is the Model S, by the way,
this
folks,
is Model S, right.
Rolling out in 2012.
Right. The reason for the IPO was actually to raise funds for parallel development of some additional variations on the Model S platform, to give us a little bit of additional cushion in case the Model S takes longer than expected, and also to provide some small amount of liquidity for myself and others that are in the IPO. I'm only selling 5% of my holdings, and I don't intend to sell any more, to be clear.
Elon, what do you think Tesla will look like in 5 years? This company has changed so much just in the past few years.
Well, what I hope we're doing in 5 years is doing our mass market vehicle. And then that's really been the goal all along. From the beginning, my dream for Tesla has been to make mass market electric vehicles. And that's, we're about to do we've done step one of that with the Roadster, which is, the high price, low volume. Now we're moving to Model S, mid price, mid volume. And then hopefully in 5 years, maybe 6 years, we're also producing the mass market electric vehicle. That's the ultimate dream for me, for Tesla.
And it wasn't too long before the critics started to make their voices heard.
About one of the most hyped IPOs in recent memory, the soon-to-be red-hot Tesla Motors, which will trade under the symbol TSLA when it comes public next week. Tesla's a sell, sell, sell. You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing. As of March 31st, this $1.5 billion plus company, it sold 1,063 cars. I myself have sold 1,063 cars. In 22 different countries. I've only done it here. Also, we got to be very wary of competition. Other companies are developing electric vehicles, many of which I think are better and less expensive than Tesla's Roadster. Hey, upcoming Nissan Leaf, 25 Gs after tax savings.
But as Tesla has done, time and time again, proved its critics wrong and raised $226 million, selling 13 million shares at $17 each, becoming the first automaker in the United States to go public since Ford back in 1956. In a day that the overall markets were down, Tesla soared, closing at $23.89. In its second day of trading, investors got a taste of the volatility that Tesla stock has become famous for, reaching a high of $30 before falling back to $23 at the close.
It was an arduous IPO, but we managed to raise, get Tesla public, and just sort of clean up the capital structure and raise, a bunch of money from the public markets. Shortly after that, we became one of the most shorted stocks on the NASDAQ. For quite a while there, we were trading places as the most shorted stock on the stock market. I think we were trading places with Skullcandy, Travelzoo, and Coinstar.
Also to note, there were several blogs maintaining a Tesla death watch.
It was crazy. I mean, even our friends were, sitting there reading all of these death watches, and
our customers are like, "Do you want to buy a car?" Well, it's like I was reading about this death watch thing.
So that was a difficult thing when they're reading about the company that's about to die, who they just bought a car from.
I mean, there was quite a bit of Schadenfreude in the media who was sort of like, we had the temerity to try to create a car company. It's like, who do these arrogant jerks think they are that they can create a car company? The hell with them. They're just going to die. And there were like multiple blogs maintaining a Tesla death watch. It really pumps you up,
Oh, and then there was this guy.
Tesla's a sell. You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing.
Our own Jim Cramer yesterday said, I'm not sure that Tesla has a business plan that's going to work. It's not a smart investment. What do you say to the skeptics who look at where Tesla is, the money that you're raising, and they say, you know what? They've got a nice Roadster, but they don't have a good business plan.
Well, I think, Jim, I'd say, yeah, sure, Jim, we're no Bear Stearns, but I think we're going to do okay. Jim, I think, recommended Bear Stearns and Lehman and other things. So, frankly, he's a contraindicator.
By July 2nd, Tesla stock was trading near its initial IPO price. By the 7th of July, Tesla shares closed at $15.80, below the IPO starting price, with worries emerging about Tesla's cash burn. But the fall was short-lived, as Tesla stock recovered and stabilized by the end of July at around the $20 mark. By the end of September, Tesla stock trends sideways, and Tesla announces that it's opening a new store in Paris, which will join the list of Tesla's other stores at locations such as Silicon Valley, New York, Colorado, Washington, London, Zurich, and Monaco. And unlike other auto manufacturers that use car dealerships, Tesla takes the Apple approach, in that they place their stores in high-end locations and major shopping centers with high foot traffic. And to accomplish this, Tesla hires George Blankenship, former Apple and Gap store specialist, as head of Tesla's store design strategy to create the Apple Store vibe.
This was like a controversial decision at Tesla. In fact, like the original business plan, Tesla called for using the regular sort of auto dealer network and that kind of thing. But I was really adamant that like we need to improve the buying experience. Like I don't know anyone who loves the current car buying experience. People tend to view buying a new car as equivalent to going to the dentist, and maybe the dentist is better, but it's just never something people look forward to. And so we thought, well, look, if we're going to make a new car company, we don't want to inherit the negativity or the sort of the bad elements of how it's been done in the past. We want to do it right, and we want to make sure that people love coming to buy a car. They look forward to it. We got a lot of opposition from the auto dealers, as you might imagine, and they were not happy campers about this approach. But anyway, we felt like, hey man, we want people to love it, love buying a Tesla from all the way from like the initial buying experience to receipt of the car, ownership, the post-sales service experience. It's sort of about like you want people to fall in love. Like you want them to just just love it. So we thought we had to do it for that reason. We weren't sure if this made sense from an economic standpoint or whether it was going to serve us poorly or well. We just knew that we didn't want to replicate the negative experience that most people have in buying a car.
On November the 4th, Panasonic announced that they'll be investing $30 million in Tesla and taking a 2% stake. Here's Elon's take on the deal.
We've been working with Panasonic and the Sanyo subsidiary now for 6 years. They have a very deep understanding of Tesla, where we are, where we're headed, a really powerful endorsement of the technology we've developed here and of our company as a whole, that Panasonic would choose to invest $30 million at the market price. The Panasonic cells are in use in the Family Smart battery pack, the A-Class battery pack, and will be in use in the RAV4 EV and also planned for the Model S. But there's no exclusivity in the Panasonic deal, and so it's really just something that they wanted to do in order to bring companies closer together.
November 11th, Tesla announced earnings for the first time as a public company, in which they beat expectations. Revenue came in at $31 million for the quarter, but what really moved the stock was that they reported a net loss of $35 million, which was smaller than expected. They ended the quarter with $185 million in cash on hand and reported 151 sales of the Roadster, which was a 7% increase over the previous quarter. On a final note, Tesla stated that they now have 3,000 reservations for the Model S, with deposits being $5,000. Following earnings, the stock shot up 19.2%, marking the largest rise since the day of the IPO. Following a string of positive events for Tesla, the stock price hit a record high of $35. And in other news from November, Tesla hires Jérôme Guillen from Daimler, who would later become the automotive president. Towards the end of the year, an analyst by the name of Carter Driscoll from Capstone Investments downgrades Tesla stock with a price target of $22. Driscoll wrote that the company faces tough competition from major automakers and that the lack of charging infrastructure will drive car buyers towards hybrids rather than all-electric models. Tesla stock fell 8% on the day. One day later, Tesla shares dropped to $25, a further 15% drop as the lockup period expires. So what is the lockup period? Well, once 180 days have passed since the IPO, insiders have the option to sell. And as Tesla stock was double the price during that of the IPO, some investors decided to take their profits, and sure enough, the stock fell. As 2010 concluded, the stock stabilizes and closes the year at $26.63, up 56% from the IPO. So what a year for Tesla. They started the year by getting a $465 million loan from the DOE, received a $50 million investment from Toyota, acquired the Fremont factory, raised $226 million during their IPO, got a $30 million investment from Panasonic, and hired highly talented people in the likes of George Blankenship and Jérôme Guillen. In the next episode, Tesla makes progress towards getting the Model S prototype complete, while Top Gear's review of the Roadster causes major controversy. If you enjoyed the episode and want to help the channel, Patreon is the best way to do so, and also a big thank you to all Patreon members and Ice Lake Investments for making this documentary series possible. So till next time, I'll catch you guys soon.